Hello everyone, welcome to the online video lecture series for the subject Python application programming for the semester 6 according to video syllabus. So today we'll start with a new module, that is module number 3, so which consists of 4 chapters, chapter 8, 9, 10 and 11 according to the textbook Charles Severance. So the chapters are lists, dictionaries, tuples, and regular expressions. So these are the 4 chapters that come under module 3 according to 6th semester video syllabus Python for Python application program. So today let us start with chapter 8, lists. So lists is a chapter that is a concept. So this concept is like a list, so which you take it to a grocery shop, a supermarket shop, so or list of students, list of items, so list of marks. So that this list is that concept. So it has nothing to do with linked list. So linked list is different, completely different with Python lists, the concept. So both are different. So this list is like a general list. So you take a grocery list to a supermarket, like a list of items, list of students, list of things you want to pack for a trip or something like that. So that is this list. So today we'll be covering 3 topics, the first 3 topics in this video. A list is a sequence, lists are mutable, and traversing a list. So we'll go to the first topic, that is a list is a sequence. So here you can see what is this list. So list is nothing but a sequence of elements, or it is also called as items. So the values in this list are called as elements or items. So list is simply a sequence of values. So in this example, so here you can see we have 4 items in the list or 4 elements in the list. So the first element is 10, second element is 20, third element is 30, and fourth element is 40. So, and also list is represented by square brackets. The list of elements or the items are enclosed in square brackets. So this is for an integer list. So this is called as an integer list. So also you can see here is an example for a string list here. So you can see 3 items. So that is apple, cake, and donut. So which is represented with single quotes. So that is a string representation of list. So you can see whenever you have names or list of names, student names, or list of grocery items or some vegetables or something like that. So you are going to represent that in single quotes. So each of the item is represented in a single quotes. So this is another example for a list. So the elements of a list need not be of same type. So here we have an example for different types of elements in a list. So here you can see the first one is a string here, and second item in the list is a floating point. The third item is an integer, and the fourth item, so here you can see this is a special one. It is nothing but a list within a list. So here we have a list with 2 items, so which is present in this list. So this is called as a nested list. So it is a list within a list. So here you can see different examples for different representations of lists. So here first we have the names of cheeses. So here you can see cheddar, Edam, and Gouda cheese. So 3 cheese items in this list called as cheeses. So this is the list name. So here you can see another list name called as numbers. So here we have an integer list. The first item in this list is 17 and the second item is 123. So also you have an empty list which has no items in the list. So when we print this above list, so you can see here cheeses, numbers and empty. So you can see the list of cheese being returned as an answer and the integer list being written and also the empty list. So these are the different representations of lists. So all lists are enclosed in a square bracket. So you have to remember that the list of items are enclosed in a square bracket. Lists are mutable. So previously we had studied about this concept called as mutability. So what is mutability and immutability? So mutability means you can change the order of items, you can assign new values to the list. Immutable means you cannot change the order of the items or you cannot assign a new value to the particular. So in particular it is strings, the concept of strings. So strings are immutable, which means you cannot change any character within a string. But in list you can change the order of items, so that is why it is mutable. So lists are mutable because you can change the order of items in a list or reassign an item in a list. So here you can see in this example, so numbers, we have a list called as numbers, and within this list we have two items listed. So the first one is 17 and the second one is 123. So also the lists have offset values. So this item has the offset value 0 and the second item in this list has the offset value 1. So suppose we change the first item in the list, so that is numbers of 1, will get a new assignment, that is 5. The value of 5 is assigned to the first item in the list. So here you can see we have changed the order of the list, that is we have assigned a new value to the first item. So when we print this list, you can see here the list of items being changed. So from 17 and 123 to 17 and 5. So you can see that is how you can change the order of a list. So the next thing we have here is the in operator. So it is a Boolean operator. So previously also we have studied about in operators. So this in operator checks whether that particular list item is present in the list or not. So if that item is present in the list, it returns true. If that item is not present in the list, it returns false. So here we have an example for the demonstration of the in operator. So this is a Boolean operator. So that means it returns either true or false. So here we have a list called as cheeses. So in this particular list, we have three items: cheddar, Edam, and Gouda. So here we check. The first example is, so I check for Edam cheese in cheeses. So this is the list name. So this is the in operator. So this in operator checks whether Edam cheese is present in the list cheeses. So it returns true because Edam cheese is present in cheeses. And the next example here is Brie. So this is a Brie cheese. So this in operator checks whether Brie cheese is present in cheeses. So it returns false because Brie is not present in the list of cheeses in cheeses. So this is the usage of in operator or demonstration of in Boolean operator. If that particular item is present in the list, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. And the next concept today we'll be learning about is traversing a list. So also we have learned traversing in strings concept also. So here also it is the same way we are going to use the looping concept to traverse each and every item in a list. The most common way to traverse the elements of a list is with a for loop. So here an example is demonstrated. So the for keyword is used, and the second word here is this cheese. So this is nothing but the iteration variable. So this particular iteration variable traverses through each of the list item in the list. So this is the list name. So for iteration variable traverses in the list cheeses. The meaning of this statement is the for keyword. This cheese is the iteration variable. This particular iteration variable traverses in the list called as cheeses, and it prints each and every cheese item in the list. So a for loop over an empty list can never execute the body. So here you can see for x in empty. So previously we had a list called as an empty, so in which there were no items listed. So when we traverse through the list called as empty, so this never happens because there were no items in the list. So this is how you traverse through a loop. Traverse through a list using a looping concept. So although a list can contain another list, the nested list still counts as a single item. So here you can see the length of this item list is 4. So here you can see this is the first item and this is the second item. So here we have a string item, string element. This is the integer element, and you can see here, observe here that we have a list as an element. So this is one item again, and also we have one more list, that is integer list. So we have here a string list and an integer list. So although we have list within a list, still it is counted as a single element. Okay, so the length of this particular list will be 4 because it is 4 items in the list. So the first item here is Sam, and the second is the integer element, that is 1, and the third element in this list is this string list, that is Brie, Roquefort, Paul Lebec, and the fourth item in this list is this integer list. So that is how the nested list is counted. So it is, the list is counted as a single element. So today we have covered 3 topics. So list as a sequence, traversing through list, the in operators, and the different ways of representation of a list. So we'll continue the other concepts of list in the next class. Thank you.